Hello and welcome to today's Delta Credit Tip. So FICO's done it again. They've changed their scoring model and I'm not exactly happy about it. Stay tuned, I'll fill you in on the new change and how it'll affect your credit on today's Delta Credit Tip. Hello and welcome back to today's Delta Credit Tip. So FICO has done it again. They've changed their scoring model and they're trying to be more competitive with new technology and demands from their paying customers like those lenders that use those credit scores. But how does it affect you, the borrower? All right. So we're going to go through the changes and kind of a history of the score models and what does this mean for you. Hopefully this information is helpful. If so, give us that thumbs up. Don't forget, subscribe and hit the bell below so that every Thursday, as we come out with more information to help you in your credit restoration process, you get that information right out of the gate. Okay? Also, share this information. This is new stuff that's going to really be affecting a lot of borrowers starting latter part of 2020 as more lenders come on board with this, and this information is going to be very, very important. All right. Also, if you want an expanded discussion of the credit score model, tune in tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as we go into a live feed, as we go deeper in depth of the score model and what it does to borrowers and steps that you're going to want to take to best maximize your score. So let's get right into it and talk about this new FICO 10 or FICO 10T score that they're coming out with. Now, keep in mind that every 5 years, FICO adjusts their score model, okay? Last time it was FICO 9, this time it's FICO 10 and FICO 10T. And really what they wanted to do with this new change was have the score model be more predictive. Right? They want to see the trends in your credit management behavior. As a matter of fact, the T in the FICO score 10T stands for trending. So what they're going to really do, the biggest difference between the FICO 9 and the FICO 10 score is that they're going to start looking back at the balances that you're keeping on these credit cards and seeing are you able to pay those down or not, and are you combining it with consolidation loans and that sort of thing. So really what they're trying to do is create a trend. So should we be first off managing our debt differently? Okay. Now the thing is the score model right now, the two largest areas of your score are the payment history, which is basically how consistently are you paying on time, and the debt to credit ratio, or the balances on those credit cards, okay? And what they're really looking for are those people who take an extra step and they max out those credit cards, they consolidate that debt, then they max it out again, right? They don't like that. Lenders don't like that. It shows that you didn't learn your lesson the first time, and they're going to be more punishing when it comes to ramping up your debt. So really the key to the old score model and the new score model is don't keep adding more debt, right? That's really the gist of it. But the truth be told about the credit score is that if they're looking at trends, this is what I really don't like about this new model, is that if they're looking at trends, it's going to be good for people who keep low balances, but for some strange reason end up getting some really high balances for a temporary amount of time. So let's say you keep your credit card balances low, you go on vacation, you rack up everything on the credit card. Well, that sharp increase in your balances shouldn't necessarily create a sharp increase or sharp decrease, I should say, in your score, because they're going to look at the last 24 to 30 months of your balance, of your balances on your cards. Now, the problem is the opposite of that is going to be held against you. So let's say you have gone through a hardship in your life. You've lost your job. You've been injured. Some sort of life event has caused you to lean on those credit cards that you have earned up to this point. Well, if you start systematically paying down those credit card balances, let's say in large chunks, you get that tax refund, you knock that thing down. You get a better job, you start knocking down those balances in large chunks. It's not going to improve your credit right away. What you talking about, Willis? The reason why this is so important is because if you are in the process of fixing your credit, by changing your behaviors, the cornerstone of what we teach, that your score is not, your credit is not a score but a behavior, well, now they're not taking your new behavior into consideration. And the whole time that you are improving your balances, they're holding the old balances against you. And guess what? Those lenders who are approving of this new change, like the mortgage lenders, the credit card companies, they get to charge you more interest. So I'm not necessarily a big fan of this because they can use it against you. Now, truth be told, okay, just like the whole new Experian Boost and the Ultra FICO and all that stuff, your lender has to use that version of the score. We're on FICO 10, people, and there's 64 versions or more of your credit score and report for the varying industries that are out there. The first thing that's going to happen is that lenders are going to have to use this new model. And they're still using, the majority are using score 9 and score 8. We haven't even got to 10 yet. And lenders, mortgage lenders, they use the Equifax 5.0. They use the Experian Risk Model Volume 2 and the TransUnion Score 4. So we're not even close to using these models that are coming out. And if you actually call FICO, right, they won't even divulge to you the new model. Like, what are they really looking at? And they'll tell you, oh, well, as lenders inquire more about it, we'll disseminate more information. How do you roll out a product and don't explain the rules and regulations behind it? Okay, so again, not a huge fan of this. And how is this going to affect your score? Well, if you're afraid that your score is going to go down, that's really going to happen when you consolidate debt, right? And then rack up your credit cards again. Or if you've maintained high balances and you're systematically trying to pay them down, it will create a lag in your score going up. Now, if you are already managing your stuff well and trend to higher balances, then it won't have as big of an impact on your score. But I don't see really how this is going to help the vast majority of the people that that have, you know, credit issues out there or trying to maintain good credit scores. Now, truth of the matter is really what's going on is that as an industry as a whole, the average credit score has increased. It's up to like 703 now. Now, I don't see those customers, obviously, but that's what they're saying. But it kind of makes sense, right? Because it's 2020. What happened in 2013? Well, in the state of Florida, because of the real estate bubble, 1 in 7 were in bankruptcy and 1 in 10 were in foreclosure. And now that we're 7 years out from the pinnacle of the recession that we had, right? Those things are falling off the credit report. So we're seeing an unnatural lift in a lot of these scores, and these lenders are losing money. So what do? Follow the advice that we give in literally all of our videos. Remember, your credit is not a score. Your credit is a behavior that leads to a score. So you've got to make sure that you're focusing on those behaviors, maintaining those balances below 30% of the limit, just like you always have done. in the attempt to fix your credit and get a good credit score and good credit behavior, right? Don't pay things late because obviously that's going to help. All those things stay the same. But what they're now going to be doing is looking at more of your behavior. So it's going to be more important that you show consistency in how you're managing your debt load. If you are in a position where it's just simply too difficult to claw your way out of the debt, and yet you recognize that you make plenty of money, but you're always chasing that next bill, give us a call. We can help you with that process here at Delta Credit Restoration, where we help our customers make a choice to make a change here with Delta.